Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Oste, and I'll be doing a walkthrough of a forensic challenge I created for the East Africa InterVarsity CTF. So the CTF was basically hosted in a CTF from platform, one of those leading training platforms in Africa. They have pretty awesome real-world challenges that leverage on latest attack vectors. There are several categories ranging from web, mobile, IoT, malware, cryptography, forensics, steganography, OSINT, you name them. So if you haven't yet checked out the platform, I'll be sure to leave a link in the description section. Make sure you create an account, spread the word if you like the content, and also if you're a new member on this channel, please consider subscribing. Hit that notification icon while at it to get updates when new content drops. Cool. So I think we can dive into the challenge and have a glimpse of what was expected of the players. So we have a challenge that reads, that's called ping pong. And it reads, we've noticed some weird traffic in our network. We wish to rope you in and help us understand what was happening or what was potentially stolen. Are you capable of taking on this challenge? If so, then help us unravel the mystery. Cool. Let's just dive into our Kali attack box just to see the file that we've been given. Just log in real quick. Cool. So let's just confirm we have the file. Yes, we do. We're going to analyze this file using Wireshark. Just need to specify it. Now we have it loaded. And just browsing through, I can see we have a couple of packets. Basically 420 packets. They all seem to be ICMP related, but just to be sure about the same, I like to go to the statistics tab, check under the protocol hierarchy if there are other protocols, for example, SMB, HTTP, that we might have missed out. In this case, we can just see we have 420 packets, which are in regards to ICMP protocol. Cool. So the other thing I like to check is the number of endpoints communicating in the network. So in this case, I'll typically go to the statistics tab and select the endpoints, and then in this case we're going to go to the second tab, which is IP version 4. In this case we can see we have two IP addresses, that's 192.168.111.128, and we also have 129. Great. So having this in mind, I think we can kind of, or maybe I can just walk you through ICMP from my point of view, or maybe what was expected, and how it can also be abused in different contexts. Okay, so ICMP or the Internet Control Message Protocol is a very vital part of the Internet Protocol suite that's basically used by network devices to send error messages and also operational information. Yeah, so think of it as your way devices communicate about the network status, like reporting a route failure or controlling ping messages for network diagnostics. But here is where it gets a little bit interesting for us in cybersecurity. So in the past, I think attackers have been seen, or maybe have been observed, using softwares and tools like Cobalt Strike, TS Cookie, Somrat, Anchor for real, for things like data exfiltration, and specifically using the ICMP protocol. And for those who might be wondering, data exfiltration refers to basically unauthorized data transfer from a computer or a network. Okay, so with that in mind, we can go back to our pickup file and understand it better. So let me just scroll to the first packet and see if we can make sense out of this. So at the very first packet, I can see we have a packet with a frame length of 98. That's the data size of the packet. And this seems to be consistent all along until we have another packet on frame 111. This has a large frame length of 1066. Looking at the packet details, packet bytes, sorry, we can see some readable text. Let's just confirm if we can see some readable text in the packets with the 98 length. So this doesn't seem readable. Maybe we can just confirm with a few other packets. Yeah, still not readable. So 1066 looks like a frame or a packet frame with of interest. And also something to note is you can see that this packet and this packet are similar. This is basically because this is a request and this is a reply. So probably once we start applying filters, we're gonna put that into consideration just to avoid duplicates. We can filter out only for request or maybe replies. Yeah, we're gonna see about that. Let's scroll further and see whether we're gonna find other packets with different frame lengths. So yeah, indeed. So towards the very end, we have two packets. One with 574, and the other one is a reply to the same with the same frame length. So what's this frame length have to do with this challenge? So it's basically important to understand the frame length in this context. For example, I was expecting players will go ahead to do their research in regards to ICMP protocol, get to learn a thing or two around the same. There are so many blogs out there that do a deep dive into the same. And one specific blog that I'm going to point out is this. I think I'm going to share a link in the description. It's pretty detailed, talk about a lot of things in regards to the same. Packet composition, how you can manipulate or maybe use ICMP packets to exfiltrate data and what have you. So in this particular case, we have, just go back to my VM. In this particular case, we have the first packet, which to me looks pretty much like a standard Linux ping packet, ping and request and response packets. So maybe I can drill down on the packet details and maybe explain to you a little bit better about the same, how I got to know that. So basically, when you look at this, let me just give me a second. Yeah, I think it's better. Yeah, when we go to the packet details, we can be able to see that this is the first packet. Its frame number is 1, as shown there. The other thing we can be able to see is the packet size, which is 98 bytes, typical for a Linux kind of packet. So basically, we have the composition, the packet composition. In this case, we have a small summary that's listed there. We have ether type, IP, ICMP, and data. And basically what this is, in a nutshell, in this kind of a packet, we have 56 bytes, which is the default data size of an IP packet in Linux. We also have the second part, which is 28 bytes of the IP header. This constitutes of the IP header, which is 20 bytes, and the ICMP header, which is 8 bytes. And finally, we have the final 14 bytes, which are the Ethernet frame header. So this sums up to a total of 98 bytes. So in this case, this might not be interesting to me. What I can do in this case is probably filter out the same. And probably how I'd go about the same is I'd come down to, let me just go back to my original screen. Yeah, I'm just gonna go down to the packet details, filter out the destination address, apply as filter, selected. That's the first step. Then I also need to filter out that frame length of 98. I don't want to see it in my output, so apply filter and not selected. Great. Now we are heading somewhere. we now have the truncated data that had a frame length of 1066, which to me looks a bit interesting, because when you look at the packet bytes section, we can be able to see readable text. I'm just going to loop or maybe scroll through the same, see if everything is kind of readable. Yeah, seems like pretty much it. But then we also had a packet which had a frame length of 574, also seems readable. So this could be the interesting bit of this competition. And I know a challenge for most people will be, how do I get to export this data? How can I filter out this data instead of manually having to come and copy and paste the data from, the packet details, just maybe copying values. This is a bit tedious. So a better way to go about it is to use other tools, or rather other command line tools like Tshack, which can easily do this for us. And before we go and look at Tshack, probably I can explain something small that could also give you a hint of what kind of file or what kind of data we really want to extract from the same. So looking at this, I do see that when I hover over it, I can see that from the packet details, let me just zoom in into that. I can see from the packet details, it starts with a magic header or maybe magic byte that starts with a PK. To me, this looks like a zip file, but we're going to confirm the same shortly. So let me just go back to my original screen. Yeah, this looks like a zip file. And how I got to know about the same, I just looked at the first 4 bytes of the same. That's 54B. So coming to this site and doing a quick search of 54B gives us a hit that indeed, yeah, we saw PK, so this could be a zip archive. So having this in mind kind of helps you to understand, okay, if I export this data, how can I get to reconstruct it to the original file? So if it was an image or an exe file, we will have seen something to do with 5A4D. So in your mind, you're like, you should know that if I export this piece of data and convert it or maybe reconvert it into its original form, it's supposed to be an exe file at the end of it, right? So if it doesn't become an exe at the end of your conversion, just know maybe there's some bytes that are missing or thereabout. Okay, so it's important to kind of understand or maybe analyze the magic bytes or the file header in order to give you a hint of what the file to inspect or maybe to further inspect is. So in this case, we know it's a zip file. So I'm just gonna go back to my Kali instance. I'm just gonna hop to my terminal. But before that, I think I need to copy the filter because we'll need it. Just copy that. Cool. Just give me a second. Yeah. So I'm just gonna type Tshack. Tshack, and then you're gonna specify TACR. TACR is specifying the input file. This case is sas.pickup.ng, and then we also have to supply the capital Y flag. This basically enables us to paste in our filter that we had on Wireshark. Then you're also gonna add the T fields flag and specify specifically we want to get the data. So in this last section, we are specifying that in our capture file we want to only extract the data information. All other information isn't really necessary for us, but all we're interested in is the data. So if we just run this, let's see if we get some stuff. Yeah, we do. Maybe zooming in a little bit out, we can see that each packet has been, each data in each packet has been filtered. So this is another packet. This is also another packet. But then you see in this case we have empty lines, or maybe a line break. So what we can do in this case is basically get rid of the empty lines by using another set of command. In this case, we're going to use a command line tool called tr, which is pretty good in translating, squeezing, or deleting characters from a standard input. So as you might have guessed, we're going to specify that we want to delete any occurrences of empty lines or new lines. Let's just run that and confirm whether we have still some lines. No, we don't. Cool. So at this point, I think I'm just going to clear that and enhance this command a little bit. We can also add another command called, or another tool called XXD. This basically helps us to reconvert this hex dump into its original state, which is a zip archive. Okay, so I'm just going to do XXD, then add I think it's tag R and tag P, then see if we have something. Yeah, I think we're getting closer. In this case, we have some more readable stuff. MOS 49, MOS 24, MOS 30, MOS 31, MOS 29, 18, 20, 19, 44, 22. Cool. How about we just output this now to a file? So still on the same command, I'm just gonna output its content to a file called test.zip. Now that's done, you can just confirm it's a zip archive using the file command. File test.zip. Yes, it is a zip archive. What you can also do is unzip it to see its content. We see that in this case we require a password, so we can't do much without a password. So in this case, I'm just going to leave it that way, and let's try and see if we can crack it. And in order to crack zip files which have been encrypted, we can use another tool that comes pre-installed in Kali called ZippedJOHN. It's part of the John suite. So all you have to do is basically type ZippedJOHN and then specify the zip file that you're supposed to crack. Hitting enter will give you a bunch of stuff, but what we're interested in is this hash that you can see here. Perhaps you can refine the command a little and output the contents to a file called forjohn. I like to call it forjohn. And once that's done, all I need to do is use John, specify the word list to use. Just gonna use a word list in my desktop, and in that case it's rockq.txt. Finally, we have to specify the file containing the hash to crack. So all you have to do is hit enter, give it a couple of minutes, and now we have a password, which in this case is ne.11.88. Copy it, come to the unzip command, paste it there, hit enter, and now we should have contents of the zip file. In this case, it's a folder called decoy. So let's just navigate into decoy and list its contents. In here we can see that we have a bunch of wave files, starting from MOS all the way to, I guess, MOS 50. Kind of look identical to me, but I think there was two ways in which I was expecting players to approach this. I think one is pretty common, pretty obvious. In that case, is just visually looking at all these file sizes and identify one that stands out. That was a bit easy to figure out. That was MOS 36 in this case, because all other files had a file size of 86,964. But in this particular file, it had a weird, or maybe a different file size of 51,2004. So that's the particular file of interest which we're going to look at in a while. But also I think another way to go about this, I don't know if it's a long process, but let's do something along the lines of sorry, let's do something like let's do an LSLA, then let's try to awk let's just try and print, is it 1 2 3 4 5, I think 5, yeah, 5 $5. Then I just maybe want to do a sort, probably, I guess. Yeah, you'd recognize that it's a file with a different file size of 51 204, pretty much what we had in this Morse code, Morse wave file. So what we can do in this section is let's open the file, see what's unique about it, and also maybe get to open the rest and see if there's something unique about them. So I'll start with I think morse.wav. So let's just listen to it. Okay, let's also listen to the one on 36. Cool. So they are pretty much almost similar, but it's a bit difficult to kind of understand what the hidden message is. So I believe at this point getting the flag could have been a bit easy, because all you needed to do is maybe get to figure out what tools do I need to maybe decode or maybe decipher this text or maybe information that's being communicated in the WAV files. So there's a couple of tools that you can use online to do the same, and one of those that I like using when it comes to Morse related challenges in CTFs is morsecode.world. They have their encoder and decoder that you can play around with, get to learn a thing or two, play around with the different settings, frequency, and what have you. So in this case, when you just load the Morse file and hit play, yeah, you get that the file is a decoy flag pretty much for the rest of the wave files. But then specifically when you look at the wave Morse 36 wave file, it should give you the intended flag. Let's confirm. Cool. So we get the final flag, which is Morse is cool. And that was pretty much it for that challenge. I don't know if it was easy or if it was hard or complicated. Let me know in the comment section. And that, folks, is a wrap on the challenge walkthrough. Whether you're a seasoned professional or maybe just starting out in cybersecurity or this CTF journey, such challenges offer invaluable learning experiences. You can get to learn how to work around with such kind of packet captures, whereby you're given like DNS traffic or ICMP traffic that's potentially exfiltrating stuff. So watch out on some of those areas that I've highlighted. I think some of those common protocols that I've come across, I think in the past, include DNS. There's ICMP. I think there's also QUIC at some point. I'm not really sure, but yeah. So I think that's it from my end. I encourage you to try it out and try your skills, and always stay curious. If you enjoy this deep dive, give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and hit that notification bell while at it. Until next time, stay secure and keep hacking the planet. Ethically, of course. Bye.